Hello everybody and welcome to another fragrance video. I hope you all have been enjoying the roleplay videos. Next week we'll have a traditional best of or top 10 or whatever. And then I think the week after we might have a shopping haul, if you will. But that's not what we're doing today. What we're doing today is another review. This was a viewer requested review. And this is of Calvin Klein's Euphoria. A little late on the game with this one. I'll admit I never even heard of this one, even though it came out in 2006, 2008. So I did a little bit of research, and the guys who made it also made Carlos Benem, Lac Dong, and Jean-Marc Chalin. Also made CK's Into You. They have a history of making Calvin Klein colognes. This particular one is super blast of orange and citrus, sort of a sporty cologne that develops into something a little bit more feminine. I actually like it. And then some of you, this might turn you off immediately. Eternity, and they also made Eternity, so people hate that one. It's spice and aromatics and everything not nice. What people say, I'm kind of with them. 3.8 out of 5 was the original EDT, and then 2 years later in 2008 they came out with the intense version. Now the intense version and this cologne broadly, I don't know if it was been discontinued. I can't find anything about that, but the prices have soared on these things. To be Calvin Klein, from I've seen, they are most expensive fragrance. Calvin Klein revered for being very cheap, affordable fragrance. This is not. So the intense version, Euphoria Intense, going at around $150 to $200. So very, very expensive. But I wanted to see if this was going to be similar, given the fact that these gentlemen made Eternity and Into You, if it was going to be shallow, fruity, aromatic, playful, just like those, because you never know, some makers can wow you and do a 180. So I went ahead before I picked up the Intense, and I picked up the original. This is the EDT Euphoria for Men. Whoops, I have never smelled it before, so this is going to be a blind test. I do want to go over the notes real quick. So we're looking at ginger and pepper being the opening notes. The black basil, expecting a little bit of spiciness, sage and cedar in the mid notes, and then amber, suede, redwood, and patchouli in the base. So it does have a bit of a complex profile. So I'm very interested to see how it settles. Let's go ahead and put a nose on it. I'll spray it on paper, and then we can spray it on skin. I'm a 2-sprayer lately. Gosh darn. Hitting everything. Oh, wow. It definitely reminds me of them, Calvin Klein. They're patented. So you see with the Into You and the Eternity, kind of really, really strong opening notes. That comes out the gate really hard with just a lot of freshness. I don't believe, I guess that's the ginger talking, but I don't believe that there's no fruitiness in here. It really does smell like fruit, but I guess that's the ginger talking. A little bit spicy. I think that's more so the sage coming through, as opposed to the pepper, and it doesn't really sting my nose, I guess, as it sits a little bit. Yeah, that's really nice. Then the basil sits. So we'll come back to this in a second, and then there's a big difference between paper and skin, so I'm also going to spray it on skin and see how it develops. So here's a couple bottle noises for y'all out there. Let's spray. And we'll wait for that to go. let's try her out. Yeah, same thing. I actually really, really like it. In fact, I prefer this to any other Calvin Klein opener that I've ever had, even with CK1 and all of their various different ones that they've had. That's really, really pleasant. You see that in spring and summer. Now, I've heard that a big knock on this fragrance is its lifespan and its ability to last. This is a common occurrence with Calvin Klein, and the fact that this is an eau de toilette just makes me think that, yeah, it probably is. And if you're talking about getting the intensely version, that can be very, very expensive, as you are paying, I don't know how much money per spray. So let's go back to the paper. As it's sitting, you're definitely getting a lot more of those earthy notes, floral notes. Brazilian redwood I thought was an interesting one. It's sort of a non-discernible, woody, oaky smell. It's really nice. So I don't know about longevity. I really love the opener, and it smells super clean, super fresh, summer, spring scent. So enter into the intense version. Intense versions, I think, are just kind of a bit of a cash grab, a way for these individuals to try to repackage what they have and get more money off of it. And some of it can be good, some of it can be bad. This right here is Red Tobacco by Mancera. This is by far one of the most potent fragrances that you will ever smell in your life. It is super in your face tobacco, super in your face red notes, spiciness, and all you need is one spray and you can kill a cow. I mean, it's very, very pungent. Not that the intense version is a whole lot more, but this is a fragrance that I don't really care to have the intense version. The original version is so intense as is that it's not something that I really need in my life. I mean, even it's competing with the other CK right now, and it's kicking his butt. And it's just, it projects, and this is the original version. I would never get the intense. However, this is Yves Saint Laurent Y-Man Eau de Parfum Intense, and I think this is the best version of Y-Man. I really do. And it comes in being very dark and sort of ominous, sort of a fall winter fragrance, as opposed to its fruitier cousins who are sort of overly playful. So when we talk about intense versions, yes, there's some good, there has to be, but I think there's also a lot of bad and just kind of cash grab. So with the CK Euphoria Intense, I had to get a decan. Could not find this thing. $150, $200, still couldn't find it. Like I said, I don't know if it's discontinued, no longer in usage, or if it is just that darn expensive. Does have wonderful reviews. Gosh, that is wonderful. So how is this different? They are all different, and there are some other notes in there with the intense version. They are adding in vetiver, which is sort of a mossy, oaky grass kind of smell. And then they're also adding in oud and myrrh, which oud is just kind of like a sweet woodiness. Myrrh is kind of a waxy, almost like a tonka bean to me. And then labdanum, is used to produce musk. So what they're trying to do is create more of a tonal atmosphere. So let's see if they achieve it and if it truly is better. The cheap little things. Oh, I do like that. So the opener is much more in your face as you would expect it. The main thing with the intense version is that it's supposed to provide a higher concentration. So it's supposed to be more projecting and longer lasting, more in your face. And it does do that. Guys, just my main complaint with this Euphoria right now is just the fact it already is underperforming, is underprojecting to me. I almost can't even smell it on my skin at this point. That's good. The mid notes, you definitely get more of that earthy tone. The amber and the base definitely produces more of a romantic, sort of a date night kind of vibe. It's nice. It produces more of that earthy tones as you would expect with the introduction of the oud, and the muskiness, more of a masculine fragrance, which I think the original is masculine too, but this sort of takes it a little bit more over the edge, like I said, to that, date night. I still don't know where the pepper notes are, and I don't know where the basil notes are. I just sort of get the ginger in the opening, and then sort of a woodiness in the backdrop. It's good. It's good. I don't know if I would pay $150 to $200 for this fragrance. It's just the Calvin Klein fragrances are very unique. They're playful. They're citrusy. They're springtime, summertime. Usually don't see anything that would lend itself better to winter or fall. So I guess I would say, what is your desire? What are you trying to accomplish with this? Because if your goal is just to get a nice fragrance, or even one that lends itself into being date night or afternoon, nighttime fragrances or something like that, there are better options, and there's options out there for far, far cheaper. But if you are, trying to support Calvin Klein, I guess it's a decent option either way. The fact that I sprayed it on my skin and I can't even smell it, and I just sprayed it like 5 minutes ago, that is concerning to me. It's very, very subtle. So I would also tell you that it is very, very subtle. I think it would hover right around a $40 fragrance, maybe. I don't see paying $150 to $200, but there's only one CK that I've really enjoyed, and it is CK1 and some of their offshoots, but I don't wear it. It's not something that finds its way in my rotation. I just think it was done well. So maybe I'm a little, just not a huge fan of that DNA necessarily. I think if you want more of a fall fragrance, and that's why you're trying to accomplish with Euphoria Intense, then go check out my other video that I just put out of the best fall fragrances. I think you'll be much happier with it. So anyways, I will see you all the next time for the next video. See you later.